What's up, fam? Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there. Today we are taking a look at a knife that I am finally getting a chance to get in hand. Well, I mean, I've had it in hand before, but I've not had it in front of the camera. This is the Aurora knife and tool Truffles. This is not a new knife. This knife has been out for a while. It's through Kickstarter and everything. I missed out on all that. Excuse me. This is one I have wanted to get into the collection eventually, and it will get there eventually. We'll crack through some specs on this guy first. So this is a 3.4 inch blade, 8.1 overall, and it is a 4.2 ounce knife. We're looking at S35 and titanium. It is manufactured by a company called Sikio. These guys do some pretty epic button lock, or pretty epic pivot lock stuff. They worked with, I believe, DEF CON as well, and then they just did the new Orion knives Aries as well. But yeah, pretty cool stuff here. You've got a kind of a wedge lock style liner lock. It works in reverse, so if you see that there, we'll get some more detail on that as we go. Pretty cool stuff. It is $200. They do offer two versions. They have a blacked out titanium version that has, I guess, some sort of black anodization on it. I don't think it's actually PVD or anything like that. And then they offer this version here. So let's go ahead and dive right on in here. So you do have, with the pivot locks, you do have these big old buttons here that go over the pivot. So, you know, just an interesting aesthetic there. It is a flipper design as well as front flipper and blade hole. Jimping on the flipper is there. It's not great, but it is there. The jimping right here is actually pretty good though. Just a standard kind of blasted titanium. You have T8 hardware. It is a reversible clip with a filler tab there. Dead centered. Do have a nice milled titanium clip. It does carry pretty well. Backspacer, you got like a half length, quarter length backspacer there. Big old pivot screw. And again, it is all T8. So jimping here on the top of the knife is extremely functional. Very good jimping there on the front flipper. And then, like I said, you got this nice long blade hole that gives you plenty of access for reverse flicking. And this thing is absolutely covered in fingerprints. So we are going to end up taking this thing apart so you guys can see the mechanism as well. But you have a dual ground Tonto blade here. So you've got the compound grind, not dual grind, compound grind. You got a hollow here, flat there, typical for Tonto blades. And then you got that really massive blade hole. Absolutely no branding whatsoever on this blade, which is really nice. You know, we guys like to see that. Really clean plunge grind, done very well, very fast. Plenty of room for sharpening, especially with the hollow grind. And this company does really great job with their sharpening. Same thing with the Orion that I have. Sharpening is on point, and the tip is, trying to get it to focus there. Tip looks to be pretty good. If anything, it might be favoring the show side just a hair. And here you can see that lockup mechanism there. So you push the button in, and there's actually a double leaf system in there. And like I said, we'll be able to see that here in just a moment. But there's a double leaf system, and you can actually kind of see where it's right there. You see that little hole there, right here. You can actually see that's where the leaves connect. And that is, you push this in, it pushes one leaf in, it pulls the other leaf in. But the lockup is phenomenal. Yeah, so this knife, when I got it from Luke, it was a little gritty. I did go ahead and take it apart and clean it up for him. So it is nice and cleaned up now. So what I would do if I had one of these, I would do a flipper delete. I personally think the back flipper is a little, I don't want to use, the term I want to use is gaudy. I don't think the flipper belongs on this knife. I think this knife would look way better, way cleaner without that flipper. But I get there's a lot of folks that really like that, and you know, so that's kind of the one of the selling points of this knife is it has every blade opening mechanism on demand, and they all work really well. As you can see, the front flipper works fantastic, even with just the rollover from the, you know, the top rollover with the index like that. Even with the flipper being there, my fat fingers, it does kind of grab a little bit, but outside of that, you know, every opening mechanism works. The detent is tuned perfectly. you know, just it's a phenomenal knife. I just personally don't care for the flipper. That being said, in the hand, you don't really notice it. I do wish that the jimping went a little further down the blade. With it being right where it's at, I feel a little crunched up. So if it had a little further out jimping to where I could get on the blade a little bit more like that, I would prefer that more. But ergonomically, it's a sound knife. I mean, it feels great in the hand. In the left hand, you're not hitting that button, so you don't have any worries there. You can still actuate it with your left hand. It still does reverse flick just fine. I'm trying to do it with pocket clip being there's a little weird, but just a stellar design. Like I said, this thing is not anything new. Folks have been singing this thing's praises for a while, but if you haven't checked one out, it's definitely worth it. The price isn't terrible for what you're getting. S35 and tie for $200. A very innovative design, very nice lock, very cool blade in general. Like I said, I don't think it's an outrageous price by any means. So yeah, so let me know what you guys think down below. This is just a real quick video. Wanted to showcase this thing a little bit. Like I said, we'll have one of these in the collection before too long. But let's go ahead and show you guys the system here. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in, and we're going to crack into this thing. So thankfully, it is all T8 hardware, so we can just very quickly get this thing pulled apart with one driver, and also it doesn't hurt that I just got done taking it apart. So very simple, 3 screws, and the scales come off. It does use a, of course, it has the washers, and then it uses plastic bearings, but I'm sure you can get those replaced with skiffs. Now it does use standard bearings, so unlike some of the other pivot locks that have these massive bearings that go around, it does use a standard pivot. But there you can see that double leaf mechanism. So you push in your button, and you can see that pulls that in, so that pushes that leaf down, and it's just like a lever system. So there is some grittiness here. That is, I'm guessing like a danger of this kind of knife. But you don't really feel it when the knife is together, so it's not a big deal, at least not to me anyway. Like I said, I don't feel it when the knife is put together. Let's go ahead and I'm going to check and see what kind of skiffs this thing takes. And let's see. So it's going to be a 5mm. Yep, so it's 5mm. And let's see what this top bearing is. Maybe. Okay, 5mm. Yep, so it's a 5mm and 3/64. So if you do want to skiff your Truffles, you can certainly do so. And it is a fairly common size. So chances are, if you have skiffs at your workbench already, you probably have that size, because like I said, that is a very common bearing size for these knives. A lot of the Chinese produced knives use those sizes. So let's get this thing right back together here. Alrighty. Well, with that is everything I've got for you guys today. Again, let me know what you think about this knife down in the comments. What do you think? Would you cut the flipper off as well? Yeah, I appreciate y'all as always. Please remember to be kind, be humble, be EDC. Take care.